All right, we're asked to put in standard form this polynomial. Right away, I recognize it's a squared function. So that's going to be a standard form that looks like a y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So our goal basically is to simplify everything out here and then make sure it's in descending order. The x squared comes first, then it's the x, and then the constants or the numbers are at the end. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this as some side work. This squared you have to be careful of. It actually unfolds. Some of you might have this memorized. Like if I had to just use my mind, I would say x squared minus 8x plus 16. This number plus itself for the middle term, this number times itself for the last term, and of course we have x squared with nothing in front. But let's go ahead and show what that looks like. So the easiest way to do that is to do a generic rectangle, and it's x minus 4 times x minus 4. Remember, this is a binomial times a binomial, so we got to multiply it out. You can also use FOIL or distribution. You'll get the same answer, but this method is usually the most consistent and the easiest for students to use. So filling in the boxes, we're all multiplying to fill in each cell. X times x is x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Same thing, negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Those combine. And negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. So this part right here is all of that. So here's my side work. I'll put it right here. So this turns into x squared minus 8x plus 16, which was what I said. So as you get better at these, you're looking for like little shortcuts which unfold themselves pretty easily the more you do them. All right, so that's this part right here, the parenthesis expanded to that. So now I have y equals, so this implies y equals 3 times that, x squared minus 8x plus 16 minus 1 at the end. Don't forget that minus 1 at the end. All right, so at this time we're just distributing the 3 to every term inside the parenthesis. And I now have 3x squared minus 24x. And 3 times 16 is 48 plus 48. Don't forget that negative 1 at the end. And it looks like we're almost done. So y equals 3x squared minus 24x. And these combine to be 47 plus 47. Check. All right. Write in standard form. Check. So descending order. Got it. Next one. Find the vertex algebraically. Okay. Well, first thing, we need to make sure that we have our special number. They call it a magic number sometimes, but it's your complete the square number. Complete the square number. Complete the square number. Do you remember what it is? B over 2 quantity squared. So we're going to be using that. Also, it's important to know that when you complete the square, you have to have a positive 1 as the number in front of your x squared. So the number in front of x squared has to be a coefficient of 1 in order to progress through this problem. So the first thing I have to do here, since I don't have that, is we factor out whatever's in front of x squared. So y equals, I factor out, in this case it's just a minus sign, that's not too bad, negative. Now I have x squared with a 1 in front. Factoring out a negative here makes that a positive x to the 6th. And many times when I do this, it's just a good safety net. Just mentally, if you distribute that back in, do you get the same thing? Yes. So it's real good just to kind of check your work sometimes to make sure that you haven't made a careless error. Okay, now this is the one that I can kind of deal with. This is my b right here. So ax squared plus bx plus c. That was my general form. The number in front of x is your b that we're using right here, so that turns into a 6. I'll go ahead and do some side work again. So my side work is going off of this complete the square number. 6 over 2 quantity squared, and that turns into 3 squared, and that turns into 9. So this is my complete the square number right here. And then every time I do this, I just want to bring it to your attention. This number right here, that number that's inside the parenthesis before you square it, is the number that has to show up inside the binomial, inside the parentheses. So we're going to see that number 3 come out again. And it's just another one of those shortcuts that when you do this a lot, you'll see that, oh, there's a shortcut, especially when it gets into more advanced mathematics, that we need to make sure that we use those shortcuts so it doesn't twist the brain as much. All right, so this is the magic number that we're going to be using. All right, so we got y. I may need to erase some of this, but we'll deal with that when we get there. Equals negative, parenthesis, x squared plus 6x. Here's my plus 9 I'm adding. If you add 9, you have to subtract 9, and I'm just doing it inside the parentheses. All right, so notice this is just adding 0. I added and subtracted 9 here. So the whole point here was so that I can get this guy, that one right there. What two numbers multiply to be 9, add to be 6? What two numbers multiply to be 9 and add to be 6? All right, so that's y equals, the negative is still on the outside. Be careful of that minus 9 right there. It's still kind of inside this set. So I may have double parentheses, so I'm gonna go ahead and another parenthesis. That's x plus 3 squared. X plus 3 times x plus 3. At this stage of the game, hopefully you can kind of see that doubling it up is just a square right there. And I still have that minus 9 at the end. All right. So what we need to do is we need to drop this last parenthesis set, and I get y equals negative this term and that term. So once again, it's like the minus sign distributes to each one. And when I point at this one, I'm talking about that parenthesis set. So negative x plus 3, quantity squared, plus 9. All right. Now, find the vertex algebraically. All right, so this was the algebra that we used. And then our vertex is vertex form, y equals a parenthesis x minus h quantity squared plus k. So what that does is it tells us, and then our vertex, get a better color here, vertex, V-E-R-T-X, is h comma k. All right, so let's just analyze this while we're here. The a is negative 1. A negative for a means the parent function, that's usually a parabola, now faces down, so it's a parabola facing down. And then our h and our k are listed as the x and the y for the vertex. So our final answer is h is the opposite of whatever that number is. That's my trick. Is since that's a negative h, it's an opposite of whatever that number is. So that's a negative 3, comma, and then that last one is your y value. It's just 9. Find the vertex algebraically. All right. Put it in vertex form and state the vertex for this function. All right. Let's go after it. Once again, I already have my complete the square number, b over 2 quantity squared. So I'll need to do that here also. And I'll just go ahead and work down, and we'll see how much room I need, and I'll erase if I need it. All right, so first thing I like to do is write down, in this case, the standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c, so we can see what each part is. All right. My complete the square number is b over 2 quantity squared. If you're using a formula, always rewrite the formula. Yes, I know I have it right there, but I'm using it again, so rewrite it again. It's part of like one of the rules of math. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in right here. So it's a 14 over 2 quantity squared, and that's 7 squared is 49. All right, you remember what I said? Just keep your mind on that one. It helps to kind of remember. All right. And so what I'm doing here, here's my original function, and now I am adding and subtracting that 49 to it. Y equals 15x plus 40. All right, well, there's kind of a shortcut we can take here. All I really need to do is add 8 and subtract 8 to get to it. I'm going to go ahead and do it like kind of an easier way though, so I don't throw you off as much. Here's the plus 49 that we're looking for. Here's the minus 49 I have to balance it. And don't forget there's still a plus 41 right there. All right. So what that does is it just makes it a little bit easier, so we have that routine of adding and subtracting the number. But like I said, if I combine these right here, there's that 8 I was talking about earlier. Just a little shortcut, but not a big deal. All right. What two numbers multiply to be 49, add to be 14? What two numbers multiply to be 49, add to be 14? X plus 7 times x plus 7 is, excuse me, I got the hiccups. X plus 7, quantity squared. All right. So x plus 7 quantity squared, and then I'm adding negative 49 to 41. Which is negative 8. All right. Put in vertex form. And all right, there's our vertex form, and state the vertex. Once again, you can go ahead and write the form out and see if that helps you. X minus h quantity squared plus k. So I use this as a foundation that really helps kind of keep track of what we need to do. So it's easier to plug things in and you're less likely to make mistakes if you have that form. So put in vertex form. There's the vertex form. And then state the vertex. So the vertex is, and it is the h, it is the opposite of that, so it's a negative 7, that's the x value. The k is exactly that, negative 8. All right.